Happy Saturday, fam. We are getting started 5 to 6 minutes later than usual. Apologies. That song is banging. I literally, me and my sister, we're having a whole worship party in the kitchen. But it's a great Saturday. If you're down here in Texas, you know the vibes. The weather is beautiful. I know it's nice. It looks nice up there in Minnesota too. I just don't know how cold it is. So that's always a factor. But I'm glad everyone's tuning in. What's popping? I don't know how it's in Arizona either, girl. What's up, Stasia? Good to see you on. But I'm glad everybody is tuning in. As you guys know, this is our book club. We've been covering the book the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. 37 degrees is actually crazy. No, sir. Thinking. I think I'm good on all that. Well, I hope y'all stay warm. It's 75 here. And I don't know how the weather is outside, but it's like at a crisp 70. I'm not gonna lie. It's beautiful. Okay,
It's
anyways,
beautiful outside.
it is beautiful. It's like one of them fall days that us Texans we pray for because they rare. But anyways, we were covering chapters 14, 15, 16, and 17 on today's discussion. If you have not been tuning into the entirety of the book thus far, take some time and go and just listen to the recordings. Like when you're cleaning your house or you're just vibing out, play that thing and get up to speed if you haven't read this book at all or you've missed some chapters, because this genuinely really sets the game clearly black and white for you to go and excel, to go and lead. It's crazy, y'all. I'm going to give a quick little anecdote before we kick this off, but I really want y'all to explain the importance of leadership. And I spoke with somebody yesterday who has been in entrepreneurship for 9 years, and she has been killing the game within the marketing space, in the marketing realm. And she just moved out here to Austin this past year from Brazil. So, mind you, she was doing her thing, y'all, when she first started her company. Her and her partner at the time went and killed it. They ended up splitting, so she had to rebuild. But in that second rebuild, she went and became one of the most connected people out there in Brazil and was doing some major clientele. As she started scaling, I want y'all to hear this. As she started scaling, she said that it was difficult to maintain a consistent level of value being provided to her clientele. Reason being, her words, not mine, is the training that the people she was bringing on her team failed to meet the need of the amount of clientele that were coming and in the manner in which the product was delivered. She wasn't only helping people build their brands and understand those game plans to leverage these different avenues to go and scale their businesses, but she was actually taking the time herself to find someone's problem, understand how to create a solution for the need that they had came to her for, and then was doing the things. It's one thing to do it, it's a whole nother thing to duplicate it yourself. And that's where leadership comes in, y'all. You lead by example. And if you have any endeavors of reaching the goals and aspirations that you have written down and in your visions, understand that it's going to take you working with people, you developing people, and you serving people. And that's why I love John C. Maxwell's books, because those that are in business now, she's out here in Austin, she's restarting her business again because she recognized the scaling situation that she had with her systems, and she's excited because she saw everything we have with TGF in terms of leadership, in terms of automations and systems, and the fact that like we literally do this, y'all. You guys have each been developing. I know a lot of people who have been on our book club for a year plus now. And I constantly see it in y'all's day-to-day activity and y'all's vernacular and vocabulary and in the way that you communicate. So I want to give y'all some flowers and let you guys know that everything you guys are doing is genuinely so imperative to the longevity and the sustainability of what you are trying to accomplish. You can go and get that thing, but it's one thing to go and get it. It's a whole nother thing to go and keep it and pass it and help other people along the way. So kudos to you guys. Understand that leadership is one of the most difficult things on the planet. That's why it's the most highly paid profession on the planet. And you guys are already walking the walk by actually learning these things that some individuals go their entire lives without reading. So just wanted to give you guys some flowers and let you guys have an understanding of a story of somebody who like really recognizes that and struggled in the process. And I'm letting you guys know, you apply this information and you run with it, there's no way that you fail, sincerely. So that being said, I'm gonna pass this thing over to Boo Boo. Let's kick it off, bro. Sam, would you mind, bro, kicking us off today with our discussion? That'd be fire. I'd appreciate you, big dog.
I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody. Well, pulling up to this Saturday morning book club. It's not new, guys. This is what we do. This book's one of ones. So I'll get right into it. I appreciate everybody being here. Just the takeaways I had, man. I know we're gonna dive deep, so I'll just resonate with what I resonated. Um, Chapter 17, the chapter of the law of priorities, that has hit home for me this week, in particular, um, because we all got the same amount of time. We all got life be life, and there's really no excuse. But when we think about how much time we're giving to our business and to ourselves, um, the amount of productivity does not equal the amount of hours that you put in. Just because you're committed and you're sitting down and you're working, does um let me see this quote he had right here. It says, activity is not necessarily accomplishment. I would get home, me and Marcus have been intentionally getting together. And, on days out the week, and I get home and my girl asks, like, how was your day? Did you get a lot of work done? Because, we're doing time together. And so some days, um, just reflecting over the week, I'd say, you know what? This was an amazing day. I've never felt prouder of this day. And then there's other days where it's the same amount of time, but I just don't feel like I got enough work done. So going through this chapter, realizing that we all have lists of things to do, and say it's 1 through 10, you know, I might be skipping over 1 and 2 and going to 7, 8, and 9 and feeling like I finished my list, but really I didn't prioritize and go after what was the highest priority on the list. And so that was just really huge and what resonated with me. And obviously, the building of, I'll go back to chapter 16 because it was the 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 law of the big momentum. Like, it's just what it really broke it down for me, because we have this big vision, and this also ties into the law of the buy-in, because I'm sitting here with Marcus and I see his vision, I see Mikhail's vision, and I bought in, not only to, well, before I bought into the vision and saw it, I bought into Marcus, honestly, having conversations with him and seeing where this man is running to, and just looking at myself and being like, how could I not run with this person? I have to run with them. And so obviously you buy into the leader, and then you buy into the vision. And so once all that's been taken care of, the law of the big is really huge, because, man, Cam posted on his story. He posted a story of a pyramid, and we all want that complete pyramid. We want that scene just set for us where we could just go get it, just go grab it, you know. But it says you got to start at the first layer, the first brick. And most people, I know we have the image of the mountain and we want to see the top, but most people, myself included, are staring at that mountain, and we are not even looking at what the first step we have to take is. And so the building of momentum is I don't know the right word, is created by just starting with the first step, with the small victories. Because once you have the small victories, it builds your confidence, and it's just like snowball effect. But of course, we have to focus on the priorities, and we have to stay focused on the vision, and really just avoid distractions, because this whole world right now is full of distractions. It's this world is programmed to pull everything away from us, and our attention, and our this energy. So we have to remain focused and remain on the vision, but understanding of the process as this book is breaking down what we have to do individually to get to that mountaintop. We're trying to build teams and we're trying to build people, but the question is, have we built ourselves? And so that's why I love this book club, and I love seeing everybody on this journey is sharing, from where they are, not just, speaking just to speak. When I first hopped in this book club, I was, just kind of showing face, not understanding the intentionality and the process of if you do take this in, you do get more out of it. And so, it's all just been a huge learning experience. And, just to understand that I'm new to this. I'm a baby to this. I'm a baby to the intentional learning and growing and building something. And obviously, network marketing is what we're all in. So, I'm new to the business. So, just remaining a student and remaining focused and taking everything in, is just really has just been my main priority of this week going into reading this week, and how we could take these lessons and really implement them into our lives. And so, man, because of the to die into the law of the big mo, um, man, I this quote was, you can't you can't steer a ship that isn't moving forward. Like you could want to go in any direction, but if you are not actively, um, we have the wind. They say your strategy when you're on a boat, if you're just hoping to go where the wind goes, I mean, you're not going to go anywhere. We don't wish for better winds. We wish for the wisdom to set a better sail. So we want to create our sail in the direction that we want to go. So really, it's just it says here, momentum is a great exaggerator. It makes leaders look better than they are. It makes their followers perform beyond their ability. Because really, it's just excitement. It's just energy. It's just frequency that we're all vibrating off of. And this just popped in my head. The law of the victory. So I'll tie in since it's in my head. Um, they, man, I'll just take it personally, like this community that, Mikhail and Marcus have cultivated. Remind you that it's all started with a thought. Everything starts with a thought, and it takes intentional collaboration and just work to bring this all together, to be here on this call, Saturday morning with all of you guys. And so we are really positioned to have ways where the whole team can win. And ask yourself this, like, we have all been celebrated throughout, this process. And just before I had something like this, I wasn't personally ever really celebrated on my wins. And it takes a toll on you. It's so hard to stand by yourself. And so with the community that we have here, guys, like I personally do not take it for granted. I don't take it lightly any day, because to be able to be poured into, to be able to have a campfire to go to, it's huge, guys. Like it really is one of the most important things to our success is being backed by leaders that are not only pushing you but pulling you along and showing you guys and showing us, showing myself as well. Like this is, how we run. So it really just got to tie in and just lean into, like Marcus said, lean into the uncomfortability of, not feeling phony, not feeling fake. We're in the process of transition. You know, I saw this reel of a speaker. He talked to someone was asking him a question, and he said the speaker asked the audience, if I gave you a saxophone right now and you had no prior experience playing, do you think it'd be good? And she said, well, he said, no, it'd be really bad. It would be really bad because you have no experience, you have no practice. So take that as in we are just finding our voice. We're using our voice as an instrument. We're just learning how to use it. Some of us for the first time. I know a lot of us have been doing this for years, but myself, very new to the business, very new to using my voice to not only lead but empower people, but uplift people and educate people. So, it's all very new. Um, so I encourage you to remain faithful to the process that, we're all working towards something. We're all building, laying our brick by brick. And before we know it, by the time we put our heads up, we're gonna have a whole pyramid built. And so that's the law of momentum, that we are building our brick by brick every day. And then we learn what compounding success can do for us if we just do the work. And so that's really what I mean, this week has just resonated with me rather. And, I won't dive into the other topics, but so yeah, the law of the victory, having a community where we are celebrated, as our weekly. I mean, you saw last week, everybody, the whole team got celebrated. So that's the law of the victory. One win just makes you want to have another one, makes you want to have another one, and then just leads to the power of the law of the big mo, rather, of momentum. And then, but the law of the priorities was really what resonated with me this week, and how to focus on really what matters most to achieve the greatest results. So that's that's what I got. You can bring it back over here. So I appreciate y'all, you know, and showing up for yourself. Let me see who's available. Um, Rochelle, if you want to go real quick, I know you're driving, just to speak your sense if you're available. Rochelle, easy. Appreciate you guys.
What up, though? I'm gonna share about the law of the buy-in. Um, I was listening to the audio, not the audio book, but the audio where John C. Maxwell is like lecturing a group of people, and so it's more of a conversation. And he was talking about the law of the buy-in, and the whole time I was just thinking about the Nazis and Hitler and how those whole group of people bought into Hitler and his ideas, and therefore they followed him and completed the fucking biggest what's it called, uh massacre, but there's another word, genocide, the most largest genocide in the world, and like we look back on that as an event in history, like um, we study it in school, like everybody knows about it, and most people, non-scientists are like that was wrong and whatever. But it was the law of the buy-in that was so powerful that's what allowed Hitler to have the power that he did. He got his people to buy into him and his vision, and so that's kind of what I took from that. I started 15, the law of what was 15? The law of my mind is blanking. Somebody help me. What is or 16? What is 16? No, what is 15?
The law of victory.
The law of victory. Thank you. The law of victory. So I started listening to that, and he literally, John C. Maxwell started talking about the Nazis and the law of victory here. Well, he really was talking about Winston Churchill and how he was not going to allow the Nazis to take over that part of the world, and it all had to do with victory, like victory at all costs. Like without victory, there's no survival, and that was really powerful to me, because I really want to look at the definition, the dictionary definition of the word victory, and like what that means. I'm not able to do that right now, but to me, victory means like to win, essentially, and like to um to not give up. So like quitting is not it's unthinkable for a leader. To what he was talking about, a leader has not only the ability to see a problem, but to see the potential. And then not only that, but to be creative enough to come up with a solution for the problem. Marcus touched on that a little bit in the intro. And so that's like what victory means, is to like be able to me, like to be able to like see the problems, to see the challenges, to see the potential and overcoming, and then to come up with a solution in order to get past that and to win. And I see that in our leaders, you know, every time I talk to one of the leaders in our group, they usually are willing to listen to whatever it is the problem that I have is, you know, and then they're like, okay, well, let's get him a solution. Like, especially when we do our powerful creator call, like Amber's like, okay, we're only gonna spend like this much time talking about the problem, and then once we talked about the problem and we come up with a solution, we're not talking about the problem again, you know. So I'm really grateful for that. That's really all I have, and I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna choose. Amber, go ahead. You look ready.
Hey, I am ready, girl. That was such a great take, both of y'all. Sam and Rochelle, like just open it up with fire, straight fire. I appreciate y'all so much for being leaders and going first. So the chapter that the two chapters that I want to talk about are the law of buy-in, and then I have a story for the law of victory. One of the things that I talked about in the law of buy-in that I wanted to bring up, I really couldn't. I was reading it and then I listened to it, and then he said something at the end that I couldn't find in here because I was trying to read that. But basically, at the end of the chapter, he said, a bad day for a leader is when he doesn't act out the vision that he says that he is, and like his message and his vision. And so the biggest thing I took away from the law of buy-in is just the fact that like we really are the message. We are like the message that we're speaking, that we're believing in. And I know like Samuel talked about like buying into Marcus and Mikkel. That was totally my experience too. Like buying into their leadership, like when you like buy in to somebody and you know their character, like I said in here, you can trust them, and you don't need like that trust is just so important to establish like with yourself and the people around you. So that was one of the things I took away from the leaders, the law of buy-in. I feel like I had more to say on that, but I think I just said it all. And in the law of victory, one of the biggest things that I took away was at the end, he talked about this story about this coach, John Wooden, and what did it say? It says right here. So he talks about how John Wooden didn't. He said that he didn't like whenever like his team got cheap loses or cheap wins, because after a win they wouldn't listen, and he said after a lose you would listen. And so I said players don't listen well after victory. He explained they listen after a loss. Wooden always seeking out ways for his players to win, not just in basketball but at life. But that line, they listen after a loss, hit me so hard. So I want to tell y'all a story real quick to context as to why. So I grew up playing basketball my entire life. I played like 8 years in basketball from like 5th grade to till I graduated. And I'm grateful for that experience because I learned a lot. Like I instilled a lot of like work ethic and my belief, and all that's where like the practice came from. But it wasn't really always the best experience, like at all. It wasn't the funnest thing for me to experience. And one of the things that I experienced through playing basketball, to be honest, was like a lot of losses. I remember like being on a team one season where we literally lost like the entire season. And then I just remember over time, like having these conscious moments with myself being like, I don't think this is good to experience this much loss. Like, I feel like this is doing something to my psyche, whatever. So growing up, like like letting it go, but I would always think back, like literally to myself sometimes. I'm like, why did we lose so much? Like, why did I literally would ask myself, like, why did I experience like so much loss like that? Like, I just feel like that wasn't good for my self-esteem. Um, but then when I read this and it said after a loss, they listened, I'm like, oh, because I did, like after like losing like that, like you did listen, you know? And so I got all these opportunities to continue to listen and to hear, you know, to connect. And I'm very, very grateful for that. You know, I'm grateful for this book and this perspective, like this perspective shift that I got with that because it was so valuable, like to be able to look back now at my childhood and like, you know, like know that everything does always work out for you. You know, every single thing, every single loss, every single thing that we go through always works out, you know, and that's what it says here. Um, Good leaders who practice a law of victory keep fighting. They never stop looking for ways for their teams to win. Does that mean they do always win? No, of course not. But even a loss can be turned into a win when you learn from it. And that is our responsibility as leaders, is to always look for how things are working out for you. Like you have to prove that to yourself. It's the truth. But the thing is that we have to believe in these things that we want to experience. And we have to we build that belief by looking for it. Like seek and you shall find. If you look for ways for how things are working out for you, you will find it every single time. And when you start to make those connections, it builds your belief. A belief is just a thought you think over and over and over and over and over and over again. So if you seek out ways how things are working out for you, you're thinking about that, you see that, you make that connection on a day-to-day basis, day-to-day, month to month, year after year, you will eventually transform your mind into believing that literally all things work out for you all the time, faster. So that's what I got from that chapter. And that's what I got to share today. Let's see what's next. Imani.
Had a bite in my mouth. What's up, y'all? Good morning, beautiful people. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Sag season, period. Sam know what I'm talking about. Gang, gang. Yeah, Marcus. Yeah, Mikhail. We in the Sag season, baby. Best season of y'all life. Now, I thought it was really funny because in this, I think it was wherever Winston Churchill, they were talking about Winston Churchill. I don't know if y'all know, but he was a functioning alcoholic and won a war. I just wanted to throw that out there. It is. And that's my moon sign. So I'm doubling up. Birthday on birthdays. Okay, so for let me be serious. I did think that was really funny though, that you know, he was talking about Winston Churchill, who is big Sag energy, who literally won a war drunk. He won a war drunk. That is so wild. I want to say that that was a lot of victory. Like, how strong of a leader do you got to be to win a war, like fully inebriated the whole time? Like, and then after, anyways. So, law of victory. I love that he said, if you get better within yourself, people will request you to get bigger. So there's no need to go for, let's be bigger, bigger, bigger. Let's be better, better, better. And that is very important. I mean, that is like a constant theme throughout all of the books that we've been reading. It is so much easier to fix oneself, to empower and better oneself than others first. So that's how powerful it is. If you continue with the personal development, the spiritual development, yourself, and just continue your business, eventually there won't be a need for you to be this big, big thing. People will seek you and ask for you to get better. And I honestly, since I've been coming to book club and Powerful Creator, I've definitely seen growth within TGF and PC. I've seen it. I've seen, like, and I don't even know y'all that much, except Amber. I know Amber. But even just being like on the background in TGF and just seeing everybody blossom and their mindsets grow over the years really powerful. And of course, I like just because of that, I want y'all to win. You feel me? And eventually when my resort is open, y'all be staying there because y'all want me to win. And that is even more powerful. So law of victory, success is always possible, like just like with that self-love, really. Self-love, self-worth. Um, So law of buy-in, I really don't have much to say about that, except it requires commitment. So anybody looking to be strong leader, strong business owner, commitment. And that is so powerful. The more you commit, the more momentum you gain, the better you get. And also when you buy into people, they buy into you. And that's beautiful because buy into people, care for the people that you want to be in your organization. It's really powerful and it's a great way to build up. Oh my God. It is such a great way to build people's confidence. Because look, I went to a aerial yoga class. Okay, I can't ever the video. I will not be showing the video, right? But the lady was so nice. The instructor was so nice. Mind you, okay, I have never been in the air before like that, okay? And I was in the air and I was not very good. I did not learn the saxophone and get good at all. No, I was terrible. And then every little moment, every little thing that I did, they just all clapped. I was like, oh my God, you did such a good job. And I'm in my head like, thank you, because if y'all didn't give me this encouragement, like I don't even know if I would have been able to do the same. And like I know she's a great, like just by that, her being the facilitator of the class, I mean, she's like buying into somebody she doesn't know. And she literally gave me so much like just love and care that I'm like, I trust you. Tell me what to do. And I did a little something. Okay. I didn't do much, but I did a little something and I was really proud of myself. So that's how powerful these laws are, especially when dealing with other people. It just can change. So that goes into the law of the big Mo, which was my personal favorite. My very personal favorite. I mean, over the years, like I've been building my business for about 4 years now, and or 3 years, I'll say. And it always started off as something and it has blossomed into something. So sometimes I know I'm not like, fully operational, but in my head I am. I'm running things, everything's working out, and I'm gaining that momentum. And that's just in my head. So I absolutely love this law. The coolest thing, oh my God, I'm such a Disney girl, Star Wars girl. Okay, y'all. I did not know that George Lucas owned the technology for Pixar. So that was so cool for me to learn because then he sold it to Steve Jobs. And then it became this big ass, like, it just became so big. And the real thing about it is it all started with like this goal, this dream in mind, and it wasn't gaining. And if you think about it, like back in the 90s, technology was really on the cusp of like breaking out into what it is today. And if it wasn't for deals like George Lucas selling Pixar to Steve Jobs and them then going to Disney to make animated shorts, and then of course one of the greatest movies of all time, girl, Toy Story. Okay, I love Toy Story. It's one of my favorites. I used to watch that thing on repeat. So for me, it was so powerful because it
Dang.
literally was right. Okay, thank you.
I had the VHS rewinder thing, like you put the tape back in there thing.
Yes, and
Press
then
it.
it
Yeah, real
was
quick.
better than doing it yourself. You feel me? That's
Yeah.
how.
Sorry, that took me back real quick. I was thinking about that while I was reading it too.
Yeah, and that's how powerful it is when you take these leadership laws and you change not only yourself, because that's where it starts, you change yourself, and then you create this global phenomenon. And it has changed so many lives and impacted my life very personally. living in SoCal, I was right next to Disneyland. That was something that my family did almost every single year. I've had a pass there. I've worked there. That's how big that thing was in my life. And Pixar was honestly like I would share these moments with my family throughout my entire life, going to the movies, getting the VHS for my birthday, Christmas. Here's a Pixar movie. Here's this, and honestly, I was just like it kind of like made me tear up because of the nostalgia and just remembering those amazing times where my like my family we would go to Disney California Adventure when it first opened and they had a Bugs Land and in one of the rides they
Bruh.
you remember.
That's like one of my first memories ever is going to that place. The A Bug's Life ride with the huge tree. Oh my God. Whoa.
Yes, yes. The ride where the caterpillar Heimlich is going around, and there's like burst of watermelon, burst of candy corn. You went from a deal that nobody even knew if it was going to be a success. It almost got scrapped multiple times to me vividly remembering the smell of watermelon and candy corn on a California afternoon. Come on, that's power. That's how powerful it is to be consistent, to continue your momentum and go after it, even when it doesn't seem like it's going to go anywhere. But it did. And look at that. I'm over here tearing up over a damn $1 billion company that has nothing to do with my pocket. If anything, I spend too much on Disney. Okay. Um, so that's just really cool. I thought that was amazing. It just momentum is crazy. Like, uh, okay. And the other thing is when he was talking about Garfield High and how like he just changed that school. Like, mind you, Garfield High is in East LA, which is ghetto, okay? It's hood. It's so hood. Like, I can't even explain to y'all. I love it because my godmom used to live there, but it's dangerous. Like, you don't want to just be walking around East LA at night. Absolutely not, which I've done and almost got chased by stray dogs because there's packs of stray dogs everywhere. There's gangbangers everywhere. There's drive-bys and lack of there's police that actually harass you. So that's just how powerful it is. And a lot of like growing up in LA, I saw a lot of people who did not have opportunities like I had or the teachers that I had. And he was talking about this guy who decided to really stick with teaching these students to do calculus and AP calculus so they can get college credit, which is really powerful for a lot of people. Like a lot of people that I grew up with did not graduate college. Some of them didn't graduate high school. Hell, some of them didn't finish middle school. Okay. And a lot of people I know died, murdered, killed. And in East LA, that's such a normal thing to happen. But it's still like, this is what happens when it comes to our schools, you know, and the kids. And having one person who literally fought for that momentum, fought to keep it, and change the whole system for that high school, making people want to come there, which is crazy. Nobody wants to drive to East LA for real, for real. I mean, I heard it's a little more gentrified now, but anyways, and he changed those children's lives and gave them dreams and hopes in a city, hell, in a county that like literally disenfranchises people, will cut budget after budget after budget, leaving kids with nothing but gang life, drugs, and hanging out all the time. And it's sad as hell, like to see that. So for the people on this book club, in these groups, run the leaders here who are running this stuff, that's how powerful everything that y'all do is. Because not only can it change a few people, it can change the many. I think he talked about that where he's like, I don't know if that was in the momentum or if it was in priorities, but he had like if he had a couple like two good people, he would make sure that he would give them extra attention because he knew that those two people would be able to, you know, produce like extra for his business and his company successful. That's success right there. Motivation starts within and pours outwards, and it like reels in more motivation. So the more we stick to the things that we want, even when it doesn't make any sense, even when you are a teacher in the middle of the most hoodest area, one of many most hood areas in LA where violence is ultimately inevitable, you can create success when it seems like your business is failing. You can create success all just by keeping that momentum. So that was very powerful for me. I'm grateful for that. I'm continuing my business day after day, and one day, you know what, I already changed people's lives, but I want to continue to do that and change the world, just because that impact is so powerful for me to just, you know, give hope for people. So love y'all. My birthday's next week, okay? I just wanted to mention that. I am going to call on Cam. Are you available? Dacia, are you available? Hey, thank you. Are you available, Safia, to go? Okay, first, and that's okay. At the end, what you could do is like anything that you got out of this, you know, just like speak on it and you know, mention what speaks out to you the most. We love that here, okay? Um, Cam is ready. All right, Cam.
Okay, Kim, go, go, go.
I appreciate you, Imani. But yeah, Stasia, at the end, whatever stood out to you, you can just talk about if you haven't had a chance to read yet. But go ahead, Cam. You got the floor.
Yeah,
Big.
What up, y'all? I am going to be 110% transparent. I failed as a leader today. I did not read the book. So I'm moving and grooving, but I will have some insight probably on the next book club, because I have to find my book now. It's a long, tedious process. But long story short, I failed as a leader, and I will get it. I will get back. I will get it back in blood. I love y'all.
Failed. I don't really think you failed. Like that just doesn't feel right. Like did you all commit to all of us that you were gonna read it by this time? Because I mean, you could just talk about what you learned from like what everyone else said and be like, I'm gonna read it today or tomorrow. You know, like it's not none of our business when you read it. It's just about when you read it. You know, so I don't think you failed. Like it's okay. I just don't think that perspective is helpful for you or anybody.
Boom.
You're very right. Everyone, yeah, you're right. So, from what I did hear on the call, the law of victory, learning to celebrate the small wins, I have to work heavy on that, because I literally talked about it on our study session to focus on the small wins. But my biggest downfall is I don't even celebrate my own small wins. So definitely that one. I'll say for sure. But yeah, I yeah, that's really all I got. I don't know how much more I can give right now. Like, yes, I've been winning on Chart Talk, but I've been looking at life over the past week. I've been winning in the charts, but I have been losing in real life. And it's okay to say it like that, because I'm acknowledging what needs to be obvious to me. So now, thinking in solution form, what can I do better? show up not for everybody else, show up for myself. I think that's what's monumentally best for me. So I appreciate y'all for checking me real quick. That was definitely needed. Amber, shout out to you heavy. So I appreciate y'all. Mr. Steele, are you available to go next by chance?
You know what? I am. What up, though? Hey, first off, I just want to say publicly, I appreciate everybody and how all in they really be to this space. Truly, like it hits different. You know what I'm saying? Just watching everybody and like how passionate everybody gets about the chapters and like what was talked about. What'd you say? Here, I'm gonna get it for you. Hold on. And so it honestly is just really cool, man. I really appreciate that. I just want to say that real quick. Also, that last note, Amber, which said fire, appreciate you for that as well. Because that is exactly the mentality. Like, can you know the vibes, bro, and don't be going down that hole. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. I know we've spoken already today. So in that, getting into this, y'all, one, like this is lit to be able to talk about because in my life, these are some of the like, especially the law of the victory. Like I've developed this into this like I'll just call it a steel mentality. That's the last name you got. But in that, it's like he put it in such a great way when he was like leadership, or excuse me, victory is inevitable. Even like it's just not like Marcus catches all of the moments where I'd be a little stressed out about like what's going on. But like never do I doubt that God's gonna do it. I'm always like, bro, it's about to be crazy how God's about to work this out. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like you expect greatness, period. And when you like build that into your subconscious, it's a whole different level in life. But let me get on my notes. So first thing, when it came to the law of the buy-in, bounce it backwards real quick. That was fire because one thing that stuck out to me was just that little chart that he had put together. Leadership plus the vision equals the result. You don't get people to buy into the leader. I'm gonna get you some of those too. Watch, look, I'm gonna put them on the plate. You don't get people to buy into the leader, they'll go find a new vision. Especially if they don't buy into the new vision, they'll just go find a whole new thing. They'll get another leader who has a different vision. If they buy into the vision but don't buy into the leader, they'll go find another leader. Period. That vision will be either in that organization or outside of it. And I've seen that happen, even here. Then I've also seen the opposite, where people buy into the leader but don't buy into the vision. So what happens is people go and find another vision and eventually phase out. But then when you have people that buy in to the vision and buy into the leader, those are what I've always called in my career is lifers. And that's what you want, period. You want lifers. And when we first started TGF, I remember me and Marcus literally sitting down like, bro, like, how can we create something that like we want to develop lifers? You know what I'm saying? That just hit a little different. So it was cool to be able to look back upon this. This is a lesson I learned a long time ago. And in that, I just started to actually peep the signs. And when you look for people and you realize, like, are they actually buying into the vision or buying into the leader? And you can tell what they're not buying into. You can understand exactly what the result will be. Therefore, you can waste less time with the wrong people. So in that, because he's talked about wasting less time in the last book club. But he also talked about in the law of victory, he gave these like few different things. He said leadership is responsible, losing is unacceptable, passion is unquenchable, creativity is essential, quitting is unthinkable, commitment is unquestionable, and victory is inevitable. And at any points in your time, I know for a fact between me and Marcus's partnership, I know that we've had times where both of us have questioned some of those qualities And in that process, that's why victory has not been clear. I also know that where we stand right now, we are so aligned in all of those pieces of the process that victory is inevitable at this point. And that's what's dope. It took us a while to get here on both ends. It's not, I'm not sitting here as the perfect leader, and neither is my dog Marcus at all whatsoever. Period. We literally both went and figured this thing out, and we both went and actually understood the process of what victory actually looks like. And it was dope to be able to see him talk about the three components of victory, one being the unity of vision. You got to get on the same page, period. Teams succeed only when the players have a unified vision, no matter how much talent nor potential there is. A team does not win the championship, if its players are working from different agendas. That's true in professional sports. That's true in business. It's true in nonprofits. It's true everywhere. The next step is diversity of skills. That part is lit. I don't know if y'all been peeping on me and Marcus's story. This week has been full of some intentional collaborations, some very intentional conversations, and some intentional partnerships that we've been putting together. And ultimately, we've been literally diversifying our team with different skills. And we talked about it yesterday. Like, bro, we low-key got all the pieces of the puzzle. It's about to get lit. So I'm excited because things are happening. We just started worrying about serving people and really serving God, really, and helping people. And as we put our vision on helping people, God started really putting all the rest of the pieces together and attracting this big mo. And one thing I want to say real fast. Oh, last thing, third thing, a leader dedicated to victory and raising players to their potential. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all talked about it. But when it comes to momentum, the biggest thing that I've always caught from momentum is that it is created by the leader. What does that mean? How do you create momentum when you are in a rut? You decide. That's literally all it is. One day you wake up and you're like, you know what? Nope, I'm good on it. I'm good on this struggle stuff. I'm good on this broke stuff. I'm good on all of it. And I'm about to go crazy. So it's next level season. Let me get my ass up and go to work. And then all of a sudden you start doing the work. And like, this is literally how momentum is created. If you feel that, and if you don't, it's because you're not doing it. Period. It's energy. Motion creates motion. Period. You got to get in motion. And then from there, you will also start to create momentum. That's one thing that I've always known about it. It literally starts in here before it starts out here. You don't all of a sudden get somebody to randomly call you and it just peaks momentum in your life. No, you make a decision, usually after somebody calls you, maybe even before somebody calls you. And then those things start to get attractive into your life because that's what type of time that you're on. Period. Because you decided to move in faith. So in that, faith is an amazing thing. And it's a double-edged sword because if you ain't got it, ain't nothing going on. If you do got it, everything's happening. It's wild. It changes the whole perception. So in that, use that. And as he was going through and talking about applying momentum, as he said, momentum begins inside the leader and spreads from there. Have you taken responsibility for the momentum in which you are for the area in which you are the leader? I know some people on this call for a fact have. I know it for a fact. Squad's been squatting lately. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's been definitely doing their thing. And in this process, people are definitely taking responsibility for the momentum that they've been able to create. Hold on, let me get you some dip. And so, honestly, y'all, it's amazing. I'm grateful for all of it. I feel like I definitely missed something, but I'm going to just leave it. Oh, you know what? Definitely time to rethink your priorities if you're not where you want to be. I think we talked about this like on a value session or something. What? I got you some already, bud. So ultimately, when it comes to priorities, y'all, like if you are prioritizing momentum, you will find it. Period, point blank. And I'm gonna kind of leave it there because I know squad's gonna be squatted and Marcus is gonna close us out with some shades. Go ahead. Who's next? Bro, Susie went, Cam went. Oh, I think Marcus is just next, huh? No? Oh yes, yes. Ah, my boy, go ahead. Oh wait, you and Sam? No, Sam went. Imani went. Amber went. Cam went. Cheesy went. Yeah, Marcus, go ahead. Take it, bro. Okay.
Boom. What's up, y'all? Shout out everybody for bringing the value. It's been honestly really awesome to hear everybody take on these 4 different laws. And I'm gonna touch on some things that really stood out to me. It's kind of crazy though, because all the highlighting I did is just like gone. It's so unfortunate. I don't know what happened or why, but they're just not there anymore. And it's really sad. And I do not have the hard copy. I've been reading on my ebook, and it lets me highlight, but it's like everything that I've highlighted up to this point is gone. So it's a little upsetting, but there are some big things I wanted to touch on in terms of the Big Mo. And I think that really comes in motion with absolutely everything that he talks about and all the laws of leadership. And I just want to kind of reiterate on some things in terms of prioritization and having that victorious mindset. Honestly, Mikhail touched on what I wanted to touch on was those things that you tell yourself in that victory mindset that sometimes are difficult to believe when you're experiencing the opposite. But it's not till you start to attract those things by a result of you becoming those things. So like, don't take those sentences for granted. I would read that pretty often if I were you. Touching on momentum though. So momentum has been something I've heard like my whole life. And for the longest time, I understood it to be energy, and I've seen areas of excitement. I've created some momentum, but to the extent I know that momentum can be displayed, I know I have not seen anything yet. And one of the biggest things that I want to reassure everybody of is that you really have to start it yourself or it does not happen. And sometimes we look for a signal or for somebody else to do something that God asked us to do yesterday. And it's genuinely bizarre how we expect a lot more sometimes. But if we're just honest with ourselves, we're playing what it is that our minds are letting us believe because we are expecting something that's completely opposite than the actions that we're taking. So I'm going to touch on the 6th part of the truths about momentum. And I want y'all to take number 6 extremely important, especially if you haven't read it, just listen. All right. It takes a leader to create momentum. Followers can catch it. Good managers are able to use it to their advantage once it has begun. Everyone can enjoy the benefits it brings, but creating momentum requires someone who has the vision, can assemble a good team, and motivates others. If the leader is looking for someone to motivate him, then the organization is in trouble. If the leader is waiting for the organization to develop momentum on its own, then the organization is in trouble. This is what U.S. President Harry Truman once said about initiating momentum. And he said, if you cannot stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. But in case of leadership, if you can't make some heat, get out of the kitchen. Like a lot of people be trying to genuinely have or want something, but they literally don't put the actions in. You're essentially telling a wood oven stove to give you heat without putting in any wood. If you've listened to Earl Nightingale in The Strangest Secret, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You cannot expect something from nothing. And sometimes, especially as leaders, we get caught in this like teaching mode, forgetting that the number one thing about leadership is demonstrating with example, period, point blank. You tell them and then you show them. Then you watch them, do it with them, and then you go. And that's the point of leadership. You literally go and improve people. And this is what he said in chapter, I wish I had it highlighted, but he said it specifically.
Preach, preacher.
He said specifically that the measure of a leader is essentially what you go and help other people accomplish. It's what you go and actually provide for other people along the way. As a leader, your success is measured by your ability to actually take the people where they need to go. That implies that they have to get from where they're at and make progress in a wholly different position than when they first met you. But you can do that only if the people first buy into you. So you got to recognize if you're creating momentum and you need a team, you got to continuously work on you so that individuals can see with your action that your words are just as valuable as you claim them to be, because you are showing them and not just telling them. And there are a lot of freaking loud people outside who do nothing. It's literally bizarre to me. And it's kind of comical nowadays when I be thinking about it, because I honestly pay it no mind anymore. It's made me learn how to literally listen to the words that I hear, but I truly listen to the actions that I see. Like, I don't care what you got to say. I mean, obviously I care, but you're going to show me, because everybody got potential. Everybody's got gifts. Everybody can. Everybody is able. Not everybody is willing. So like, if you can figure out as a generator and creator of momentum, being the leader, then you have to do those things if you're seeking those things in others. And when you understand the law of attraction, you can literally attract who you are, not what it is you want. And because you've improved and because you've done the things and you've taken the responsibility, you're going to attract the people that are on that same type of time. It's for real, y'all. It happens at every level of leadership. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep it a buck. Other than Miss Audrey Steele, when we first started this book club 3 years ago, ain't none of y'all were on here. Like, I really want y'all to get that, right? And we would have around the same amount of people on. People come and people go. But as a leader, in order to create the momentum you're seeking, you've got to do this stuff. And that takes work. He literally talked about later on in momentum, it's literally in prioritization. Ooh, this is what I want to touch on. Activity is not necessarily accomplishment. Shout out Sam, he broke it down, right? He says, second, prioritizing requires leaders to continually think ahead to what's important, to know what's next, to see how everything relates to the overall vision. And then he put a single sentence after that. It was 3 words long for emphasis. That's hard work. And high key, a lot of y'all, whether you're catching the recording or you're on the call, might be avoiding the hard work of thinking about it. Like, sometimes a lot of the questions that I be asking, especially when people come and chop it up with me about something specifically, I ask questions to help them think, because thinking is something that we're not honestly trained to do. A lot of the times throughout school for decades, you have been told what to do, where to go at what time. Period, point blank. You have multiple choice answers, meaning there's one correct answer, and if it's not that one answer, it's incorrect. Where in the world, there's multitudes of different solutions for a specific problem, and everybody has a different angle and perspective. So you've got to recognize that you've got to literally come out of what you've been programmed. And a lot of people who step into leadership or step into personal development, that's the first kind of, I'm going to say, true test. Like, you've got to recognize that, okay, damn, I'm programmed completely opposite than what I need to be. And I got to be willing to dismantle a lot of those beliefs, a lot of those habits, so that I can rebuild. And that's where most people quit, because they won't do that. It's very uncomfortable. But as he said, do the hard work. Third is prioritizing causes us to do the right things that are the least uncomfortable and sometimes downright painful. If you prioritize, you'll get it done because you understand why it needs to be done. The only way you understand what's a priority is if you understand clearly what it is you want, why it is you want it, and who you're doing it for. He further broke down how there's just some non-negotiables that he enjoys to do and that he'll always make time for. right? He goes, boom. Yeah, he'll always make time for boom. They energize me and give me passion, right? He said, life is too short not to do some things you love. I love teaching leadership. I love writing and speaking. I love spending time with my wife, children, and grandchildren. I love playing golf. No matter what else I do, I will make time. Boom. I will make time for those things. They are the fire lighters in my life. They energize me and keep me passionate. And passion provides the fuel in a person's life to keep him going. So that really stood out to me because sometimes I just be so locked in on what I know needs to get done. But throughout the course of the past couple years, I've been very intentional of making sure that like getting my stuff done, but still putting in the time. You know, like if you're gonna take a second and have a break and if your family's around, I just go kick it for a sec and get refueled. That was something that honestly I started applying. I guess it was 3 years ago. Shout out one of our old mentors and leaders, Matt Rosa. He helped me implement this thing called the Law of 25. And you spend 25% of your time in 4 different areas. 25% of your time in solitude with yourself. 25% of your time with people you can learn from so that you're constantly growing. Then 25% of your time with people you can teach, people who are going to be able to, you're going to be able to guide and help. And then the last part is 25% of your time with your why, with your loved ones, with your people. You know what I'm saying? If you're saying you're doing this for your people, but you don't make time for your people, like, are you genuinely real? I don't think so. So, point being is, you'll get aligned with what's priority to you when you understand what you value most. And a lot of that, as he said, takes hard work because you've got to think about it, right? Even he gave you some alignment to understand how to prioritize, thinking about the 3 R's, and no one touched on it, so I want to just touch on it real quick. The first R is what is required. What must I do that nobody can or should do for me? What must I do that nobody can or should do for me? The second one, what gives the greatest return? Leaders should get out of their comfort zone, but stay in their strength zone. I was like, boy, there's a lot of people trying to be Spider-Man and Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. And they're all 2 different freaking comic universes. That's even impossible. You know what I'm saying? You might as well stick with the Avengers or the Justice League. For my nerds, you know what I'm talking about. But for those who don't, overall, you're literally trying to do too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really got to pick a lane and dive into it. Like, if you're going to build as an affiliate and understand how affiliates use their products so you can build as an affiliate. If you're going to be a student, show up, do what it is you're going to do and build your strength in that so that as you develop that skill, you can develop another skill. You know what I'm saying? Alex Hormozy talked about it not too long ago. I saw a video. It's like, if I was absolutely broke, what would I do? He would like, I would spend my absolute majority of my time learning skills that would make me money. I would go find a place to live where I'm splitting the rent, no matter what situation I'm in, that I'm not spending as much, and the rest of that income I'm spending on things that are going to build me and my skill sets so that I can take those things, make some money, and then have that money make more money. That's where you start. But a lot of people are just trying to literally do what they know or do what they've been told, and you're looking for other jobs or other ways to waste your time versus build your sweat equity. Like, it makes no sense how you expect a different result. And like, as I have been in a pruning season and a trial of presser season, I understand that I can either go about this in the route and perspective of somebody who does not believe, or I can go about this in the perspective and the belief that it is already done and God is taking care of me. And that is completely up to me. You know what I'm saying? The momentum, my ability to go and create out of there being nothing for that ball to start rolling is going to be dependent on my belief and in the manner in which I'm stepping. He talks about it all throughout the chapter. So you got to understand like what it is you truly want in order to actually step with that type of authority and that conviction and that certainty. You know what I'm saying? I remember meeting Imani for the first time at the PC Vision Board event, and we were chopping it up about unlimited. I want y'all to, I'm gonna keep it very, very, very transparent and honest with you guys so that you can understand what type of conviction you need as a leader, because a lot of people think it's a surface level and it is not. It needs to be deep rooted, and you've got to be stepping, even if you don't know how. If you feel like it's gonna happen and you know Jesus got you, you got to talk that way. I remember meeting Imani and I was talking to her about Unlimited, an event we've never done before in the manner in which we did Unlimited. We've done goal setting events before. We've been to events, we've thrown events, but not for TGF and not in the way we did it with Unlimited, right? And at the time, we had a couple places in conversation and nothing was locked in yet. I was outside talking about the value that we were going to be able to give and the people we were going to bring on as speakers and everything that we were doing as a community, despite none of it being there yet. And Amani's like, yo, I'm going. And I'm like, bro, quit playing. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Amber was selling tickets at that event as well. Like, I need y'all to understand, nothing had been solidified yet. You know, people wouldn't even talk about an event if there is no venue location. And we were outside, literally finally getting a location locked in 2 days prior to the event. Venue backed out. And we had to go find somewhere else. And we had tickets sold, people in town flying from all over the place. All of that really led from a level of conviction before any of it has happened, right? We go have an amazing event. From there, it segued for events all 2024. And then as we wrap around, as we're finishing up the new year, we're coming around to Unlimited again, now doing it with actual receipts of what God has done versus what we said we were going to do. Same level of conviction, though. You've got to understand, y'all, that momentum, that creation only gets done if you move and you take that initiative as a leader, period, point blank, right? And that will help you with that third one, like what brings you the greatest reward. I understand that the greatest reward in terms of a leader's greatest return is really the development of others. In the time, y'all, when we tell about the story in Unlimited year 1 compared to Unlimited year 2, and we explain how much we sacrificed to make year 1 happen, it was worth it. It was worth it because it got us here right now where we're at with the people that we're aligned with. And I couldn't be more excited or more grateful my entire life. And it's really because we decided in a moment where there was no momentum to go and create it. It's the last thing I'm going to say because Big Mo stood out most to me, period, point blank. And check it. I think some of the highlights came back to me. Boom. It said that starting from scratch, we did talk about Pixar, but essentially he was saying that here it is. When a team gets on a roll, every play seems to work. Every shot seems to score. The team seems to do no wrong. The opposite is also true. When a team is in a slump, no matter how hard you work or how many solutions you try, nothing seems to work. Momentum is like a magnifying glass. It makes things look bigger than they really are. That's why he calls it the great exaggerator. Everyone's perspective of the leaders start to change as people like to associate themselves with winners. Boom. That wasn't essentially what I thought I had highlighted. But essentially a little earlier, he was talking about, hey, if your team is not moving, then you as a leader is like a dead log in the water. And the only thing, like, I felt like, whoa, bro, like that's crazy to think about because I've been in multiple positions where our team ain't doing nothing. Give it a buck. Like me and Mikkel, we be like, all right, bet. So I guess ain't nobody about to run. We about to run, bro. Let's get it. We go and the emotion creates some energy. move with intention, right? But what rubbed me some type of way is what I always remind everybody, and you got, boom, it was at the beginning and it wasn't highlighted. If you got all the passion, tools, and people you need to fulfill a great vision, yet you can't seem to get your organization moving and going in the right direction, you're dead in the water as a leader. You need to look to the law of the Big Mo and harness the power of the leader's best friend. Meaning, like, if you look around you and there's no activity, whether you are participating in a team or you're creating one, right, with your business or whatever the case is, if you have all the tools, all the resources, all the knowledge, and the individuals around you to go and accomplish said goals, along with your own passion, your burning desire to go see that done, and you just can't seem to get your organization moving or going in the right direction, your leadership is dead. Which means you need to start looking inward. The only way to create momentum is if you go and create that action, right? But what happens if those people do not buy into you? As we learned in the previous couple of chapters, they will not follow you. They will go find another leader, period, point blank. I've seen that also happen in my life plenty of times. But what I want to reassure you guys is, like, take that accountability. If there's no activity, or you're at rock bottom, or you are struggling, and screw feeling like your back is against the wall, your back is in the motherfucking wall. Excuse my language. But you're in the wall. You can't go anywhere else. You got two options. You can either go this way or that way. One way is completely different than what it is that you're currently experiencing and everything you've had thus far. The other way is a road that you already understand, you have already taken, and you know where it leads. And the choice is completely up to you. It really is. And if you need the leadership, meaning you're building the leadership, then that is very indicative that you need to continuously work on yourself so that people can look towards you and see the actions that have aligned with that growth, and then see that you're not only about it, but that you actually care. And they'll be willing to follow because they will buy in to not only your vision, but they'll buy in to that vision because of who you are, not what you do or not where you're going. I don't know how many times Mikhail and I have told people where we're going, and that's super exciting. And the people that see it, see it. But before they can see that, they see us. They hear us. They talk to us. They watch us. And they really decide whether or not we keep it a buck, because I already cussed one time. We're either bullshitting or we're about it, right? It's one other option. And in the process, y'all, I just really want y'all to know that, like, if you treat this as if the reality is in your face, because you usually don't. You do not have tomorrow. There is no such thing. And a lot of us be putting off the things we need to do or the things that we want to do because we think that tomorrow is guaranteed, even though we say that we don't take it for granted, but we go to sleep and wake up the next day in the same emotion that we might have fell asleep in. Or we wake up on the wrong side of the bed, forgetting how precious and genuine it is to actually just live. Like, we're all human beings. It happens to everybody. You know, I'm not talking above y'all. I'm really talking with y'all at this point. I really want y'all to get that, because in the process, like, it's more so about your attitude, your state of mind, your thought processes, and who you become in the process. Everything else follows. So I love these chapters, and I really do think the biggest difference between winning and losing is momentum. I've been working towards finding and creating momentum in a way I've never done in my life for a decade, y'all. You know, so I've been studying the game, I've been learning the game, I've been applying the game. And what I've started to recognize is we've been really brewing up some momentum in the process. Is, man, it just took an accumulation of continuously working on myself to get to a point where people literally start to trust who I am because of the credibility that I've built, but also the actions that I continually take along with the words that I say, period. You do that enough, you can speak with that level of conviction because you've kept your promises to you before you've kept them to anyone else. And that's why most people don't, like, I would tell, this is the last thing I'll say. I would tell people, especially when we were building in the old way of network marketing, I'm like, bro, You be getting somebody started and you won't even tell them that you're gonna walk every single day of the route with him because you ain't even walking the route yourself. You know exactly what you need to do, yet you're not showing up, and you can't even tell them where to go because you don't even know where to direct them. But you're trying to go and put people in, right? This was like at the very beginning of us building TGF on 9 yards. And I was helping them recognize that you cannot teach that which you have not done, and you cannot literally provide conviction in your word to another person. You cannot uphold the integrity of what you say unless you're actually practicing doing what you're saying. It's a very simple concept, but if you look all across the planet, a lot of people just don't do what they say or mean what they say or say what they mean. They beat around bushes. They say one thing, they do an opposite. Yeah, I'll maybe meet you for lunch. Lunch comes around, something came up. Like, bro, this is very indicative in every aspect. I'm not just talking about business. So I need y'all to understand your quality of life improves when you improve. And you got to stop looking outward. I feel like it's very easy to get in a victimized mentality. Trust me, I know what it's like. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for our accountability in our group because it snaps me. Our bounce back time is crazy nowadays. I'm there and then I'm back. I'm back and then I'm better. You know what I'm saying? But it's actually real life, bro. I'm grateful for the accountability because it really keeps us on our toes. But overall, we genuinely have an opportunity every day to really grow and improve. And just most people won't. You know what I'm saying? It blows my mind. But at the end of the day, it's been that way since the beginning of time, so I'm no longer surprised about it. I just want to operate with those that don't move in that route. I'm really tired of it. I can't, and I choose not to, and I won't, and I'm sticking to it. But anyways, I love you guys. I appreciate y'all hearing my rant. But I'm really grateful for you guys, and I believe in every one of y'all being top tier leaders, top tier organization, trailblazers, you know what I'm saying? Top tier CEOs, boss women's, boss men's outside. Like I really do see y'all at higher levels. I see it in everybody that I come in contact with and has a willingness to work with us. And I urge you guys to really dive deep because you're going to quit on you before we do. And I need y'all to know when it gets tough and you know why you're doing it, who you're doing it for, and what you're actually going after. That conviction will lead to that victory inevitably because you've been working on yourself. You don't know how to quit. That's not in your DNA anymore. You took the word try completely out of your vocabulary and you don't even understand it. It doesn't resonate and compute. Doesn't make sense. Go and listen to Mike Tyson talk about winning. Go and listen to Michael Jordan talk about winning. Go and listen to any great talk about winning. They don't even give their mind the thought. In fact, if you're at where you're at, bro, you cannot afford the negative thoughts. You cannot afford it. You can't afford to entertain it, not even for a second. So just let it go and let God work. You know what I'm saying? I believe in you guys and I appreciate y'all. Love you.
That man Marcus spazzed. Whoa. Whoa.
It was
Fearless
John
leader.
C. It was John C. Maxwell, bro. It was John C.
No, it definitely was. But no, I just real quick wanted to gotta take my his AirPod because it was literally echoing in my ear. But I just real quick wanted to dive in on one note because you said it in the middle of there. And also Sam earlier said, most of us do network marketing. Excuse you, Imani. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. You can definitely listen to it. You read the book. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. You know the vibes. So in that, as you are building in this industry, like one thing a lot of people have this like weird thing with is like, I don't know how to trade yet. How do I show somebody how to like actually get started if I haven't like done this? And one, let me be the example. Mikhail does not trade like that. Everybody know. I invest a little bit. I'm deeply invested to this crypto space and I'm loving the gains. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Solana. But in that, like, for the first even 2 years, as we were literally sponsoring hella people, and Cam, Marcus, they were around in the very beginning as we literally started TGF as well. So in that, like, they peeped the vibes where there were hella people going in the system. And how do you help people go through a system that you haven't been through yourself? One, you've got to go through the system. period, as Marcus said. But then two, whether you are actually in the activity, because in affiliate marketing, you can either be a closer or you can be a product of the product, period. And in that, like, you don't necessarily have to be a product of the product in order to go and set records. Like, your limiting belief is the only thing that's holding you back, because you guys are speaking to a man right here, right now, who got started in a travel company at 18, about to turn 19. And then 365 days later, I walked stage for breaking 3 world records. And on the 365th day, I took my very first dream trip and actually became a product of the products. Literally mapped it out and booked a trip on my 1 year anniversary. We sold travel. I never took one of them damn vacations, but the entire year I made more sales personally than everybody but 4 people in the entire company that was open in 38 different countries. I'm not saying this to jump on my results. This is not that at all. I'm saying to say this like, yo, if I can sell some shit I ain't never did before, so can y'all. Period. So don't let anything hold you back in the process of being an affiliate, because ultimately, if you just go through the system and you know the route through the system and you let people know, hey, I'm not the expert and I'm going to plug you in with the people who are the experts. We happen to have a foolproof system that will support you on that. Look at Iman, or excuse me, not look at Imani, look at Anastasia, look at Roshizi, look at Cameron, about to be looking at Katrina, about to be looking at Chevy. All of these are brand new personals that I've put in that are studying things that I've never studied before. I've never really dove in. Like, I'm not a freaking trader. I'm not trading in the stock market. I'm not trading every day in the Forex market. I be asking y'all, how the hell do y'all open up these brokers, put my person on? You know what I'm saying? Shout out Mari. Mari woke up to a 30% profit on her live account. First trade she's taken on her live account. Like, bro, like, this shit works and the system works and the community works. You've just got to understand and gain clarity on who you are and where your value is, where your strengths are, and then do that. Period.
Real
Like,
quick,
I know for
real
a
quick,
fact
to
I'm a
answer your
connector.
question,
Yeah,
Rosie, you
I
tell
didn't even see your
people
question.
that you work with the experts who will help you the way that they helped me.
Look, here, I got you. I
Very
got you
simple.
better. I got you a whole illustration. Go find that reel where I have sunglasses on and I'm walking around outside at the U of M and I'm talking about what I do. I literally say it verbatim in there. I am not the trading expert. I am not the 7 and 8 figure traders. We've just been able to partner with them and we get access to their information, their education, and we've been able to help people actually go through a system to understand that education and information. Period. And it's literally just about saying that with conviction. Do you believe it? You are literally a result of it. You post every single day 4-figure profits on the gram with amazing risk management on the demo account that you have right now. Who cares at the fact that it's a demo account and delete that? The fact is the skill set. You can look at the market, you can understand what's happening in the market, you can place a trade in the market, and it can go the way that you want. That means you've learned. That means the system works. That means you don't have to be the best trader because you ain't, but you learn from some. Period. So it's the facts that tell, but it's real life, your story that sells. And if you get really good at just actually understanding and overstanding and then telling your story, man, it hits a whole new level and you becoming a product of the product and actually having success here, gaining results as you're talking to people because you're literally close because the more certain person always wins. And understand that when you're in any conversation, if you showed somebody and they didn't get started, they were just more certain in their limiting beliefs than you were certain, and they were certain in your vision and your leadership. And that is a very hard pill to swallow, but it's the pill that we're talking about today on this call. And it's literally the reason that we need to get serious and just continuously elevate ourselves and not take it personal. Like, it's okay. Shout out the 4 agreements real quick. It's all good. You ain't got to take it personal. You just got to take it to the chin and then get better. That's it. And stick around until you get good enough to start seeing the results that you want to see, period. You'll be able to lead more and more people if you become a better and better leader. But if you stop in the process, you stop and then it never goes forward. So You ain't come this far to only come this far in anything that y'all are doing, any place that you guys are leading, any place that you're doing sales, whatever you're doing in your career. You ain't come this far to only come this far. So don't stop going. Don't let your results that you're currently getting knock you down. But at the end of the day, also take real life inventory, reprioritize if you need to, and understand what you need to do to actually go and create results. Because, in the famous words of Tim S. Grover, to a winner, nothing matters except for the result of winning, period. So stay focused on that. And that's literally the process. It's a hard process for us all. The ones that be winning, it's a hard process to slow down to the pace of the ones we're teaching to win. For the ones that aren't winning, it's a hard process to get to the pace of those that are winning. So it's a hard process for everybody in the process. It's okay. That just means you're here. Enjoy the damn journey. Let's smile for a while. Let's go and have some fun. Hop on book club next Saturday and talk about the next step in the process. I love y'all. But if anybody else got anything to add, they can. If not, we can close this thing.
Hey, I just wanted to say, because look, Marcus, let me tell you how I would have never guessed Marcus was just like coming at it for unlimited hard, and it wasn't really together. Marcus made it seem like everything was done, booked, catered, everything's completed. So I'm like, bet I'm gonna go. It sounds great. I'm for it. He came with the big energy. I trusted it, and it popped off. So Marcus, you funny because I never do that until today. So big props to you because that one Unlimited was a great way to start off my year for real. My whole year I've been winning.
I appreciate the love, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, it's a little bit about what Sam had hit on.
Hey, you the shit, Marcus.
Love you, bro. Sometimes if we feel a little inauthentic or we feel like we're not being real, but I knew that we were already executing the plan and it would work out, and that somehow, some way, we were gonna have the spots in motion and everything taken care of. And even though it was stressful as crap, and I learned how to really deal with some different type of pressure in the midst of me also trying to get my whole life in order, I really saw what happens, bro. It's Eric Worre talks about it, but if you have the ability and the power to speak it, it holds you accountable to not only yourself, but also everybody who hears you. Like, I am not telling anybody out here that we're hosting an event if I know that I'm not going to put everything in my being to make sure that that event delivers on what I say it's going to deliver. Otherwise, I'm not saying it. It's literally the point of say what you mean or mean what you say or don't say it at all. So, nah, that's way too cold. I don't like that. But yeah, that's like the law of victory and the mindset behind that. But I didn't feel inauthentic at all because I knew the type of person that I am. And it honestly led to where we're at currently, where I'm speaking with the same level of conviction as we've been getting the details for Unlimited. That's happening January 10th and 11th here in 2025. Make sure you get tickets to go live right after Thanksgiving. Hashtag promote all the time. But overall, I really need y'all to know that, like, we're coming and letting people know exactly what we've done and that we're going to do because we've done it before and we're going to do it again, but with people that want to do it with us. You know what I'm saying? So it's really lit. I'm super excited because it's buttoned up down to a T. And I appreciate everybody, honestly, diving in and sharing value on today's book club. But Stacia, really quick, girl, did you want to say anything on what stood out to you? One thing from today's book club in terms of what we talked about in the book? Before we wrap up?
Yeah, I just wanna, I mean, all of this was great. Like, can you guys like drop it in the chat with what book it is and what's going on? Actually, I guess I can find it in events, but
100%. But it's a 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership.
okay. And then thing that really stuck with me the whole time was Sam, the very beginning, the first thing he said was, um, you buy the leader, not the business, or however you guys were saying that. And it just stuck with me because like I was like, yeah, you walk into a McDonald's to look for a job. You don't you look at the benefits and how much you get paid and all of that first before you even know the manager. Like, and then you get hired and then you end up not liking the manager, or the boss or whoever. Like that leader that you didn't even know, you don't even like, so then you just leave. Like, it's so about knowing who that person is and what their goals are for their life, not just at the moment, like for their life. And if you want to ride with them, ride with them. Like you got to keep up.
That's big facts. That's big facts. Keep up, she said. It's so lit. One of the dudes I used to know from neuromarketing, his team that they were building was called Team Catch Up. You gonna either catch up or get left behind, but I'm going this way. That's
Yeah, and here's the thing, I don't want to get left behind because you guys are just the start, like, of something big in this next year.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Like, serious. I'm excited. Reached out to Mikkel when Mikkel pitched me a year and a half ago in New Mexico. Me and Charisse like brushed him off. And so a year and a half later, I see a TikTok and I'm all in.
Yeah. Hey, let's get it. You know, it's always planting the seeds.
Absolutely.
You know, high key. We always be prospecting, always be promoting.
I get it now, but like the
Yeah.
way Imani described it was my experience as well.
Boom. Well, so in terms of next week, y'all, boom, November 30th, as we get ready for the next month of December, we got chapters 18 through 21. I repeat, that is 18 through 21, chapters 18, 19, 20, and 21. Boom. And then I believe we got one more wrapping it up for December. Oh, I lied. Next week, we're wrapping up the book. It's the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Duh. Okay, I promise you I went to UT. I promise. Okay, anyways, bet. Well, y'all throw some drum roll emojis in the chat. Let me let y'all know what the next book is real quick. And be on the lookout. Be on the lookout, truly, because in the book club group chat, you can access it on the website or on the app. There's a whole book club tab if you have the TGF membership, or you can see it on the network tab, book club group. But I'll be posting the links to buy the book, the audio, where it's going to be at in your digital library. But the next book I'm super excited for because it's genuinely something that we bring in the rotation every other year, and something I believe is going to do something amazing for every one of you guys as we enter 2025. So it's the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. So I know we've read this book before. This will be the second time as an organization that we're reading it. I think what's most important to remember is not how many books that you read, it's how many times you can read the right ones. And the 7 Spiritual Laws is truly a quick one, but a powerful one to say the least. If you've never read it before, buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be a ride. All good, all good. It's an amazing one. I'm glad you started it, but we'll cover that in a couple weeks. Y'all stay on the lookout. I'll throw that book information in there for you guys so that you have it. And then we'll see y'all next week as we wrap up 21 Irrefutable Laws. Much love. I appreciate y'all. Peace.
Bye. Love you guys.